Hi, I'm USA Today bestselling author Jennifer Youngblood. Thanks for joining me for One Chapter a Day, The Clean Romance Way. Guys, I can't believe it! This is chapter 19, the end of the book. I'm kind of happy and I'm kind of sad. I'm excited to read this last part, and then we'll talk about it. But be sure and like this video and subscribe to my channel. Okay, here we go. This is the last one, the end. I can't believe it. Okay, chapter 19. She was floating up, drifting without a care in the world. It was the feeling of being caught up in a glorious dream where time and space were irrelevant. Brooke looked over, startled to see two women standing beside her. All three of them were suspended above the room, standing on air. How was this possible? She looked down and saw the woman below lying in the hospital bed. Her eyes were closed and a bandage was wrapped around her head. Wisps of blonde hair were visible underneath, strewn across the pillow like strands of gold. There was a grief-stricken man sitting beside the bed, clutching her hand, his shoulders shaking as he wept. She felt like she should know the woman, but it was the man who caught her attention. She recognized the sharp curve of his jaw as familiar to her as her own face. The deep-set brows with the brooding eyes, the calloused hands, the thick head of sandy-colored hair bleached by the sun. His features were wrenched in pain, and she longed to soothe away the hurt. Then her attention flitted to the woman standing beside her. The younger one, with curly hair, smiled. "Hello, Brooke." Confusion swirled over her. "Have we met?" She motioned to herself. "Gracie." Gracie. She should know that name. How did she know it? It was right there on the edge of her consciousness, but she couldn't quite grasp it. Then the knowledge was pounded into her like a bolt of lightning. "You're Gracie!" she exclaimed. "The girl from the inn! You pretended to be my daddy's secretary." Her eyes narrowed. "And you've been following me." "Look around you, Brooke. Do you understand what's happening?" Gracie's voice had a gentle dreamlike quality to it. Brooke shook her head, not comprehending. Then she looked down again. A silent scream tore through her throat as the reality of all that was happening took hold. She fought to grasp hold of something but found only air. "That's me!" she gasped wild-eyed. "I'm dead!" "Almost. You're in the in-between state." "But how?" "You took off like a banshee on your horse and had an accident." All of the sordid events came rushing back, and she felt the resurgence of the anger in her that made her lose all reason. "Nash!" Tears flowed down her cheeks. "I thought he loved me." Gracie pointed. "He does love you." She looked down. Nash was there with her, holding her hand. "He's not the only one who loves you. Your mom and dad are just outside the door. They've been here the entire time." "My poor daddy. I should have taken his calls. Now he's going to always feel like this is his fault. He's always had such a big heart, loving me even though I didn't deserve it. I'm sorry, Daddy," she mumbled. Then her thoughts took another direction as she turned to Gracie. "You're an angel!" She spoke the word victoriously, like she had just discovered the answer to a complex math problem. "Almost an angel," Gracie said proudly. "It feels so wonderful to finally be able to say that to you. All this time, I knew there was something strange about you, but I never would have guessed. I treated you terribly. I'm so sorry." "No apology necessary." "It's time," Gertrude said. Panic rippled over Brooke. "Time for what?" "Time for you to complete your journey." "But I don't want to die. I was just starting to really live," she wailed. "Let it go," Gracie urged. "You're free now." She held out her hand. "Come." Freedom. The word wafted over her like a tender summer breeze, lifting her troubled heart. All of the burdens were suddenly gone. She was free and happy. She flashed a radiant smile at Gracie. "I'm ready." She reached for Gracie's hand, nearly touching it. But wait, something below caught her attention. Nash was speaking. She had to get a closer look. "Please," his voice broke, "don't leave me. I loved you from the first minute I saw you. When your dad presented his crazy plan for the two of us to get married, I jumped at the chance. Not because it would save the ranch, but because it would give me the chance to win you back. You see, you were right about me. I'm a coward, a mule-headed cowboy who didn't have enough sense to realize what I had until it was gone. When my mom died, it hurt so bad, and I was afraid of loving anyone that much again and running the risk of losing her, losing you." He gulped, wiping at his nose. That's the real reason I ran. By the time I came to my senses, it was too late. You were engaged to someone else. I should have told you that a long time ago. I should have fought for you, but I didn't know how. And what you heard my dad say on the porch, it was all wrong. I care about Shauna, but I don't love her. His voice caught. There's never been anyone else but you. He laughed under his breath. Half the time you get me so balled up inside that I don't know if I want to strangle you or kiss you. But that's why we're so good together. You keep me on my toes, and I can't stand the thought of not having you by my side. It should be me lying there instead of you. Why did it have to be you? I'm the one who takes the crazy risks. Every time I get on a bull, I stare death in the face. I never really cared much about what happened to me until now, until you. Emotion clogged his throat. Come back to me, Brooke. Please come back. The line going up and down across the medical device monitoring Brooks's vitals went flat. An ominous, continuous beep cut through the air. Nash cried out in alarm as doctors and nurses rushed in. Just outside the door, Evie collapsed, and a distraught steward caught her in his arms. He loves me, Brooke exclaimed joyously. I love you too. I have to go back, Brooke cried. Please. Her eyes felt heavy. She could hear his voice pleading with her to come back, but she was in a dark tunnel, and there seemed to be no way out. Then the darkness cleared, and she opened her eyes. Brooke, Nash was laughing and crying at the same time. I thought I'd lost you, but you came back to me. I had to. I love you. Never leave me again, he said fiercely, cupping her face. A nurse touched his shoulder. She needs to rest now. I'll never leave you, she breathed, reaching for Nash's hand and holding it so that he couldn't get away. Then she saw Gracie standing nearby. You're still here. Nash was confused. Who are you talking to? He looked at the nurse. Who's she talking to? I don't know, the nurse said, but there's often a bit of confusion surrounding head injuries. Yes, I'm still here, but not for long, Gracie said, tears glistening in her eyes. My job here is done. It has been a pleasure getting to know you, Brooke Matthews. You've been given something that few others will ever get, a second chance at life. Live it well. Brooke looked into Nash's eyes. She felt so much love for him that she thought her heart would burst. Oh, don't you worry. I will. You'll what? Nash asked, concern etching his features. I'll love you forever and ever, Nash Rigby, you mule-headed cowboy. His eyes widened. You heard all that? Every word. A smile curved her lips. Now kiss me, she ordered. Gracie cocked her head. Did you know that Brooke was going to come back to life? No, I was as clueless as you. It's like I said, we have no control over that sort of thing. Gertrude pointed. It comes from higher up. Gracie shook her head in wonderment. That was really something. Gertrude chuckled. Yes, you certainly don't see that every day. Things are never dull when you're around, that's for sure. Gracie sighed contentedly. I guess we can rest now. Come to think of it, I could go for a cheeseburger and onion rings. Let's go celebrate. Oh, no, we can't celebrate yet. I need to show you your next assignment. Already? Geez. Can a girl get a break? She winked. Okay, I'm ready. Lay it on me, Gertie. After Brooke, I'm ready for just about anything. Remember, you said it, Gertrude quipped. She waved her hand, and they were standing in the middle of a crowded diner. Gracie scoped the room. Hey, I know this place. I used to wait tables here. She rubbed her hands together, an eager expression on her face. My old stomping ground. So, which lucky soul am I helping to find love this time? Him. Her jaw hit the floor, and she made a gurgling sound with her throat. Him? Gertrude nodded. But it can't be him, she cried, horror washing over her. Do you know who that is? Yes, it's Christopher Stevens, the man you were going to marry the day you died. Okay, I got a little choked up reading this. I was trying to hold back the tears. I have to kind of laugh when I read some of the end of my book, and then I start crying, and then I'm laughing and crying because I think, oh my goodness, what an idiot! I'm laughing, I'm crying at my own book. But I really did. It got me. I'm so glad that Brooke didn't have to die. I guess she kind of somewhat did almost, but then she got to come back. She chose to go back and be with Nash. I love it when a story comes together. And oh my goodness, it was so much fun seeing her go through all of her stages and feeling like that she was redeemed. I mean, Brooke is always going to be something, right? But I mean, you just really feel for her and you realize that she really is a good person. And with Nash, there's nothing that she can't accomplish. She's going to be an amazing person. It's nice to know that Brooke finally found love. Gracie's plan came together beautifully. Chalk one up for Gracie. Okay, what do you think of Gracie's next assignment? Confession time. I haven't written the next book yet. I know, I'm so sorry. I'll have to get busy. I almost was like thinking, oh, do I read these first two on YouTube because I haven't written the other one yet, but the story's just so good. And it made me realize that I do need to get this one on my writing list because we have got to find out what happens with Gracie and Sheldon. You know, I've got to find out. So anyway, so I will eventually write the next one. I promise. It just may be a little while with all of my other writing projects. But stay tuned. I cannot leave Gracie hanging. Okay, well, I guess I will for a little while until I get the story written. The life of a writer, right? Writer probs. But that wraps up The Cowboy and the Billionaire's Daughter. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to be starting a brand new book. And I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. You'll have to tune in tomorrow to find out. But let me just say that you're going to love it. It's going to be so fun for me to share this with you. So, all right, I think that's a wrap. Here's to keeping it sweet and swoony. See y'all tomorrow.